Aloha, and welcome to Mana Inspiration with yours truly, Noden Dorrance. And like always, we're going to have our scripture. This week's scripture is in Galatians chapter 5, verse 7 through 9, which states, "You were doing so well. Who caused you to stop following the truth? It certainly wasn't the one who chose you. Be careful. Just a little yeast makes the whole batch of dough rise." Now, a lot of what that scripture is talking, which brings me to my question, is who is influencing you? I know we can watch people, we read people, there's people that is of an influence, but who is really, I would say, in your head or giving you those ideas of any type of good or bad? Did you know there are three things that make a leader who he or she is? Now, if they're influencing you, the first thing, it would be character. Now, under character is their traits, is the values and virtues. If you think about that, it kind of relates to that person's character on what they're about. Second is competence. Now, that's knowledge, and that's facts, your figures, and concepts. Now, there's understanding. It's relationships, context, and the significance, if you know the meaning. Then there's skills. It makes them analyze, decision making, communicating, and getting stuff done. Now, the last one for competence is their judgment, using their intuition, timing, methods of how to use, and how to do it. Now, that's your competence. That's your second. Your third is your commitment. Commitment goes under aspiration, engagement, and sacrifice. If we go under those three, I would say, traits which relate to a leader, is somebody who is influencing you, carrying those positive traits. How's their character? How's their competence? How's their commitment to what they're dedicated in doing? You know, we can get all this down, become a good leader, but what it comes down to is who are you letting persuade you? If you ever seen, I know everybody's seen where they have the devil and the angel and they're both talking in each other's ear. They always say there's two people in you, and the one you listen to is the one who wins. And the one who wins, that's who you start becoming. Now, if you're listening to the bad, that's eventually what you start doing, what you start embracing. If you listen to the good, and vice versa, that's what you start doing. That's what you start embracing. Now, an example of influence of who you're letting in. I got a story, and there's two guys. They are in the hospital. You know, one has been there, one just came back from surgery. As he comes into the room, he has bandages over his eyes, so he's not able to see anything. Their communication is strictly verbal and him hearing his voice. Now, the guy that comes in after the eye surgery is kind of down and out, really discouraged. So the guy next to him says, "Hey, man, you know, I'm looking out the window. Do you want me to tell you what's going on? Because it seems like there's some pretty interesting stuff." At first, the guy's really hesitant, doesn't want to talk. So the guy just persists and tells him, "Hey, you know, I look outside and I see a beautiful park, and then I see a park bench. And then what do you know? I see a couple, and they're eating on that park bench." Now, as days and days go by, this fella is continuously telling him about this park bench and what he sees outside. As it keeps going on, they become closer friends. The stories keep getting better. He keeps seeing those people down there and he keeps explaining. Then he goes into detail about this young man that he sees with flowers and it looks like he's about to propose. And they're two older gentlemen, so they start reminiscing, what it's like to be in love and young again. And then the guy sees them and he says, "Oh man, they walked away. The girl threw down the flowers." And then all of a sudden they turn around, they come back, and they make up. Then this gentleman gets on one knee and he's proposing. As this is happening, he's giving them the play by play because obviously the guy can't see. Now, as they go on, a nurse comes in and tells the gentleman that's telling the story, "Sir, are you ready for your surgery?" And he tells him, "Hey, man, it was a pleasure. You know, the guy with the bandages tells him, "Hey, I'll see you soon. See you when you get back." The guy with the bandages falls asleep. Wakes up the next morning as the nurse is coming in fixing the bed. Then realizes that his friend is no longer there and asks, "Nurse, where is my friend?" And "Unfortunately, sir," she replies, "he didn't make it." He and that guy, he kind of is a little bit discouraged. But yet he says, "Hey, nurse, I remember him telling me all about the park outside. Could you open the blinds and tell me what's going on outside?" She says, of course, sir." So she reaches over and opens the blind and says, "I don't know how to tell you this. There is no park." And he said, "Oh, there isn't? What is there?" "There's a brick wall." And as that guy sits there, he starts to think and laugh. And he thinks of what a good man that guy was. All along, he's staring at a wall. He came in and wasn't feeling up to it, but that guy continuously led on a story that didn't exist just to keep him up and happy. Now, on that note, is who are you influencing? Are you just like this gentleman that is there for another stranger that is not feeling too good? You know, it's like that saying I heard, and it says, it doesn't matter what you do, what you spend, but on how you treat people. That's really on how they remember you. So I ask you, who is influencing you? Who is persuading you? I want you to think of that. Is it somebody positive? Are you listening to the good? Or are you listening to somebody that's on the bad side? I love you guys. Think about that, all it over, and really start to change who is influencing you and what they are influencing you on. But you guys have a blessed week. Salute to the troops. Aloha, everybody. Like the message, subscribe, reply, share it to others. And like I say in every video, here at Mana Inspiration, we are here to work together and let you know that you're not alone in this thing called life. Aloha again. You have a blessed week. Thanks, guys.